Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 111, Shichen talks with the way of heaven and earth. Then it's decided. The prehistoric world is too monotonous now. There are so many fights and killings all day long. They need some spice. Yang Mei nodded and the two discussed it. This matter is of great importance. I need to discuss it with the main body. Moreover, this level of cross-border stone needs the main body to complete it. Yang Mei said to Shichen and then went offline directly. He went to find the main body. I also need to discuss it with the main body. This world needs to make some changes. Shichen thought about it and also went offline. You mean, you want to build an internet like modern society in the prehistoric world? This idea is interesting. In the Wangxiang Palace, Shichen listened to the information sent by the clone and thought about the gains and losses in his heart. This is indeed feasible. I will go to Tiandao to talk about it. Shichen finished thinking quickly and came directly to Hongjun's Xiao Palace. Dao, are you saying that you want to create a virtual world that allows all prehistoric creatures to communicate? In the Xiao Palace, Hongjun couldn't help but be stunned when he heard Shichen's words. This completely disrupted the rhythm of Tiandao. I just hope that the prehistoric world will not be broken in the future, so this matter is imperative. After everyone has some entertainment methods after cultivation, they will not fight and kill all day long and destroy the prehistoric world. Shichen nodded and said, This. I'll ask Tiandao. Hongjun couldn't make a decision either, so he could only ask Tiandao. No need to be so troublesome, it's already here, isn't it? Shichen said, looking at the empty space on the side. I saw that there was an eye as tall as a person in the empty place, which was the eye of Tiandao. Obviously, when Shichen came to Xiao Palace without any concealment, Tiandao discovered Shichen, so he immediately cast his eyes here. I know you have concerns, so let me show you what the prehistoric world will look like in the future. As he said, Shichen directly deduced to the future of the journey to the west, and presented these pictures to Tiandao and Hongjun. Originally, in the prehistoric world, Gong Gong knocked down Mount Buzhu because of the battle between the witches and demons, which eventually caused the eruption of the Tianhe River. The water of the Tianhe River flooded the prehistoric world and caused great suffering to the prehistoric creatures, but the original intention of the heavenly Dao was only to destroy Mount Buzhu. But now the witches are not concerned with worldly affairs, and the battle between the demons and the Wangxian League has also led to the collapse of Mount Buzhu, but this time it was not done by the heavenly Dao. Now that Pangu has been resurrected, it is thankless to knock down Mount Buzhu again, and it is completely unnecessary, so the heavenly Dao will not do such a stupid thing. In addition to this matter, there was also the Battle of the Gods, in which the six saints smashed the entire prehistoric world. In the end, the six saints had no choice but to find four relatively complete continents, which became the four major continents later. They are Dongsheng Shenzhou, Xinyu Hezhu, Nanzan Buzhu, and Beizhou Lezhu. This time, the witches will not appear, but the demons and the Wangxian League must withdraw. This is the trajectory set by the heavenly Dao at the beginning. Unless the time intervenes forcibly, all this will always come true. Hongjun and Tiandao naturally knew Shichen's identity. No one knew the way of time better than him, and the other party's identity would definitely not deceive them. So the two of them believed in the future of Hongguang. Don't worry, this matter will not be completed so quickly. I will get it out after the decisive battle between the Demon Clan and the 10,000 Immortals Alliance, and will not interfere with the birth of the human race. Moreover, I can protect the Hongguang world at that time. Seeing that Tiandao was speechless, Shichen did not want to use tough measures, but explained patiently. If he had not devoted himself to cultivation, I am afraid that Tiandao would have been replaced by himself long ago, and he would not let him manage Hongguang at all. Tiandao thought for a long time and agreed to all this, but it must be done after the two forces withdrew from the Hongguang stage. Now in Hongguang, the two parties are almost fighting each other, and they will fight each other whenever they meet. After the Demon Clan possessed the great array of stars in the sky, it was even more rampant, and no one in Hongguang dared to provoke it. Hongguang has gone through too many hardships, and it's time for the two forces to withdraw. Shichen looked at the Hongguang land and saw countless lives being destroyed. He couldn't help but sigh that he didn't seem to care about Hongguang from beginning to end. The only thing worth comforting is that the western land has now restored its original prosperity, allowing Zunti to lead the two guys, so they don't have to run to the east all day. Since Daozun has spoken, these two forces will definitely withdraw within 10,000 years. Seeing that Tiandao had no objection, Hongjun agreed with Shichen's suggestion on behalf of Tiandao. Now it is almost time for the 6 paths of reincarnation to be born, but because of the lack of the most important Hutu, Tiandao has been running to Hutu every 3 days. If Hongjun didn't know what Tiandao meant, he might have thought that this ruthless guy suddenly gave birth to the lustful thoughts of living beings. Now the Wu clan doesn't have those bad things, and Hutu has no idea of reincarnation. Coupled with Pangu's reminder before, Tiandao has returned empty-handed again and again. As if he could see the worries of the two, Shichen said, leave the matter of the 6 paths of reincarnation to me. I need to discuss it with Daidao. You need to spend some money, just don't be too stingy. As he said that, Shichen looked at Tiandao. Tiandao saw Shichen like this and knew that it had to be done this way, so he simply agreed to this matter. The 6 paths of reincarnation really needed the cooperation of Daidao, and I'm afraid that he would have to give up a few saints at that time. After a rough discussion with Tiandao Hongjun, Shichen came directly to the depths of the prehistoric earth, almost in the core of the earth, where the tunnel was. prehistoric world, there are two paths, heaven and earth. One dominates the yang world, and the other dominates the yin world. Now that the prehistoric world is dominated by heaven, everyone does not know that there is also a path to the ground, which is in existence with the same authority as heaven. However, because heaven gradually emerged from the beginning, the current situation has been formed. Because of the 6 reincarnations, the path to the ground has been delayed. The path to the ground, now it is time for the 6 reincarnations to be born. I will let it be born as soon as possible. I will need some of your origins at that time. Shichen went straight to the point and spoke to the path to the ground. I have waited for countless Yuanhui, but now I am stuck at this most critical step. Thank you Daizun for helping me to be born, but I need to borrow a few saints from heaven to help maintain the balance of the path to the ground. The voice of the ground came. This is a deep voice, as if there is a sense of breadth from the earth. Okay, I can directly grant you 4 saints. Shichen nodded when he heard the words, and directly agreed on behalf of heaven. Anyway, heaven did not dare to refute. 4. Can this really be achieved? Daidao was shocked when he heard this. It originally wanted 2 or 3 saints, and it didn't dare to ask for the 4th saint even if it was given to it. Why is that? Because there can only be 9 saints in the prehistoric world, and Hungjun is not among these 9. If the 10th saint appears, the prehistoric world will trigger an infinite calamity. If you count it this way, now that the 6 saints have appeared, there are still 3 left, so even if there is a 10th primordial purple chi, no one dares to become a saint, which will trigger an infinite calamity, and even the saints and the way of heaven will die. Since I have already said it, I will naturally let you have 4 saints, so there is no need to worry about this. Shichen saw that Daidao was worried, so he decided to talk to him about the 10th saint. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 112 The 6 Paths of Reincarnation and the Human Race. Since I am the Great Dao, I can naturally change the ancient laws and create the 10th holy position. You don't have to worry about this. Shichen explained while looking at the tunnel. In that case, I'm sorry to trouble you. Hearing this, Dao nodded and agreed. Time is just to balance the 2 worlds of heaven and earth. From now on, Zuntijayan will leave Suanmin, allowing Western religion to completely separate from the East. Although they still belong to Tiandao in name, they are not on the same page as San King Muwa and others. And the tunnel can have 4 saints, and it can also balance the forces of the 2 parties to a certain extent, so that one family will not become dominant. In fact, the tunnel should have come out a long time ago, but the way of heaven has been suppressing the tunnel for its own development. Finally, when the tunnel had to be born, the way of heaven did not have the earth to turn into the 6 paths of reincarnation, which made it blind. Get ready, the 6 paths of reincarnation will appear within 1,000 years, and it will be time for you to be born. Shichen took a piece of the origin from the tunnel and used it to achieve the 6 paths of reincarnation. Although the origin is important to the tunnel, it is not unacceptable that the origin can be restored in tens of thousands of years. After leaving the tunnel, she immediately found Pangu and obtained some blood essence from him. Although the Pangu at this time is not the Pangu of the past, it has the same origin after all. Later, she obtained some of Ho2's essence and blood, which was used to create a new 6-path reincarnation. After preparing everything needed, she returned to his Vientiane palace. The 2 essences and blood were put together by him, and because they had the same origin, they quickly merged with each other. Later, Shichen took out the origin of the tunnel. This is the most important thing. Without the power of the tunnel, the 6 paths of reincarnation cannot be achieved. After all, this is the treasure of the tunnel. The 3 forces came together under the guidance of time, and then time accelerated them. At normal speed, it would be impossible for these few Yuanhui to fully integrate, but with the acceleration of time, it can be completed within 1,000 years. No one can do this except Shichen. After all, he controls the avenue of time. Moreover, these 3 forces are too powerful, even a peak person who controls the law of time cannot complete it. Time flies, and more than 900 years have passed in the blink of an eye. These 3 forces have reached the final stage, but the last step is still missing. The 6 paths of reincarnation have basically been completed, but there will always be a need for a master. Shichen looked at the 6 paths of reincarnation in front of him, thinking about who could become its master. This thing is a good job. With it, you can reach the sky and become an authentic saint in one step, and you will also be the strongest among the authentic saints. Thinking like this, time flowed in Shichen's eyes, looking at the timelines of countless people in the prehistoric era. For such an important matter, he must find a person who cares about all sentient beings, and after this person becomes the first authentic saint, he will have the quota of other authentic saints. Although the final position of the saint needs to be discussed with the tunnel will also listen to his opinions. Only after the 2 parties weigh it can the position of the tunnel saint be decided. There are so many people in the ancient times, even if you just look at some famous people, you will be watched for several years. This, it turns out to be this person. It seems that the position of the first authentic saint will be given to you. After a long time, Shichen finally found a person worthy of a great responsibility. This person is also one of the 3,000 in the Zixiao Palace. Guest of mortal world. After making the decision, Shichen left Penglai Island directly and planned to go to West Kunlun, where was his target, the Queen Mother of the West. Originally, Duke Dongwang and Queen Mother Shi were canonized by Hungjun himself. One of them was the first male immortal in the world, and the other was the first female immortal in the world. Everyone just listens to this name. After all, who is not a powerful person, who wants to be inferior to others, let alone two people who are not outstanding among the 3,000 mortal guests? This kind of thinking was not only thought by the powerful people of the ancient world, but also by the Queen Mother of the West. Unfortunately, the Eastern Prince did not think so. He really wanted to unify the ancient world. Once upon a time, Duke Dong wanted Queen Mother of the West to join him, and the two of them became Taoist companions and fought for hegemony together. But the Queen Mother of the West didn't think he could do it, and she didn't like doing it herself, so she rejected the Prince of the East. When the Queen Mother of the West left the territory of the East Prince, she also persuaded him, but he did not listen, and then left and returned to her territory. She was born in West Kunlun. Although she and Sanking belong to the same Kunlun, the Kunlun Mountains are so huge, and each mountain top is a small world, so it is enough for them to establish their own dojos. For countless years, although Sanking achieved the status of a saint, he was not so overbearing and said that he would drive her out of Kunlun. After all, they had no influence on each other. Help, those monsters are here again, run. Damn monster clan, I will fight with you. All the young and middle-aged people will join me in fighting against the demon clan. Let the old, weak, women and children evacuate first. This place is not far from our ancestral land. Shichen was walking along the coast of the East China Sea, when a series of sounds came into his ears, making him stop in his tracks. This is the human race. When Shichen saw the human race below, he suddenly thought of something. I witnessed the birth of the human race with my own eyes, and the human race has attracted attention from all parties since its birth. After Nuwa created the human race and proved the Dao, and Laozi established the human religion and proved the Dao, all forces could not help but capture some human beings and wanted to study what was special about the human race. At the beginning, everyone was very excited and thought that they could study the secrets and prove the Dao, but unfortunately it was not as they thought, so they had to give up studying the human race. The demon race itself did not provoke the human race because the human race was created by their queen Nuwa. But in the end, after a demon discovered that devouring the human race could improve his cultivation without any side effects, this idea was heard by Dijun and Dong Huang. After the two of them experimented, they found that it was as the demon said that they could use the human race to improve their cultivation, so they found Nuwa. Although Nuwa created the human race and was the saint of the human race, she was born in the demon race after all. Since the human race can help the demon race improve its strength, and it only takes a few decades for the human race to grow from birth to growth, they are not worried about extinction at all, so they acquiesce to the demon race killing the human race, as long as they are not completely extinct. As for Laozi, he used the human race to achieve the human religion. As long as the human race is not completely extinct, his Taoism will not be cut off, and he will not stop the demon race. The human race has survived alone in this situation until now, but has also witnessed the cruelty of the prehistoric world. Alas, this is my fault. I came from the human race in the future, but I forgot that the prehistoric human race was so difficult. It seems that I have to make up for it as much as possible. Shichen looked at the fleeing human race, killed the demon race chasing them, and sent the human race to the ancestral land. When the human race saw that there was a powerful person taking action, although they didn't know who it was, they still knelt down and thanked the sky. But after such a cruel experience, the human race can rise completely, but I need to help the human race. Shichen looked at the human race leaving and thought about what to do. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 113 Leading Liudeo into West Kunlun. Shichen did not go directly to the human race. It was not the right time. He planned to establish a saint for the human race after the 6 reincarnations. Only when the human race had its own saint could it not be bullied by the prehistoric creatures at will. Although the human race was the dominant race in the future, the human race had never had its own saint, and it was always not confident when facing the prehistoric powerful. Although the heavenly Dao established the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors later, those people of the human race would eventually live in seclusion in the fire cloud cave and could not come out at will. Even the saints were freer than them. During the time of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors, the emperor of the human race could still be equal to the Jade Emperor of the heavenly court, but after the conferred god, the status of the emperor of the human race plummeted. By the time of the journey to the west, even a random bodhisattva could make the emperor of the Tang dynasty kneel down in person, which shows how much the strength of the human race was reduced. After making the decision, Shichen did not delay anymore and went directly to West Kunlun to find the Queen Mother of the West here. Greetings, Daozan. In Zikunlun, the Dao's temple of Queen Mother Shi, Shichen did not hide his figure, and was discovered by Queen Mother Shi when he arrived at Zikunlun. The name of Shichen was also known to all the great powers in the prehistoric world, so when Queen Mother Shi saw Shichen appear, she hurried out to greet him. No need to be polite, take me to your Dao's temple, I have something to find you. Shichen nodded and said to Queen Mother Shi. Queen Mother Shi nodded and took Shichen to her own Dao's temple. I came here this time to give you an opportunity, which is a major event that will benefit the entire prehistoric world. After both parties sat down, Shichen spoke directly. I don't know what you are doing. Although my strength is limited, I will do my best to complete the Daozun's entrustment, and I dare not ask for an opportunity. Queen Mother Shi was shocked when she heard this, and hurriedly asked Shichen. No need to do this. Shichen shook his head and then continued. Do you know that there is the heavenly Deo in the prehistoric world, and naturally there will be the earthly Deo? Only when the heavenly Deo and the earthly Deo appear together, the prehistoric world will be complete. Now only the heavenly Deo has appeared, but the earthly Deo has not, but it needs a key thing. And I already have this thing, but it needs a master. I have seen the prehistoric world, and only you can take on this important task. Is this the opportunity that Daizun said? Please tell me clearly. Queen Mother of the West was stunned when she heard the words, and then asked Shichen. She didn't know that in addition to the heavenly Deo, there was actually an earthly Deo that was opposed to it. And if the earthly Deo wants to come out, it needs to control a treasure. The treasure that can make the earthly Deo come out is probably not a simple thing. Queen Mother of the West thought in her heart, and couldn't help but feel a little eager. Although she is now in the late stage of quasi-saint, she can only be regarded as a small existence among the quasi-saints in the prehistoric world. She dare not compare with those quasi-saints at the peak, not to mention that there are saints above who suppress all living beings. Shishin's words made her want to compete with the top quasi-saints in the prehistoric world, which made her very excited. Shichen smiled when he saw this, and then took out the 6 paths of reincarnation. The 6 paths of reincarnation has no specific shape, it represents the place of reincarnation of all beings in the prehistoric world in the future. All beings in the world have karma due to their good and bad karma, and this karma has 6 destinations, which are called the 6 paths. There are a total of 6 places of reincarnation, so it is called the 6 paths of reincarnation. They are the heavenly god path, the Asura path, the animal path, the hungry ghost path, the hell path, and the human path. This is the 6 paths of reincarnation, and it has not yet been completely formed. I need you to merge with this treasure and achieve each other. When you completely merge with the 6 paths of reincarnation, it will be the time for it to be born. At that time, the underworld will be born, and you can also use it to become an underworld saint. After Shichen finished speaking, he saw the Queen Mother of the West widen her eyes, and her beautiful eyes were full of disbelief. She thought she was just letting her control a treasure, but she didn't expect that she could become a saint right away and achieve an underworld saint she had never heard of. Although I have never heard of the saint of the earth, since it corresponds to the heavenly way, it should be no worse than the saint of the heavenly way. It is also a saint. This treasure is too precious. Queen Mother of the West dare not take on this important task. Please take it back, Daizun. Queen Mother of the West came to her senses and quickly refused to Shichen. Although it was very tempting, she did not dare to agree easily. This is a saint. Who can resist this temptation? She just tried her best not to watch the 6 reincarnations. She refused with her mouth, but her heart was bleeding, thinking about what if Daizun really took it back. Fortunately, what she was worried about did not happen. It doesn't matter. Only you are the most suitable for this matter. I have also said that you can only take on this important task after looking at the entire prehistoric world. Shichen nodded and said to her. Ordinary people would probably agree directly when they saw this thing, but Queen Mother of the West would actually refuse it. Although it was just a verbal refusal, she was very eager in her heart. But what is this? This is a holy position. Who can resist the temptation of the position of a saint? And what Shichen didn't say is that after she became a saint of the earth, she has the right to decide with the earth about the ownership of the remaining saint positions. Although it is not much, it is also a great right. In this case, I will not refuse it. After hearing this, Queen Mother she didn't want to refuse, so she agreed. Okay, in this case, I will help you complete the integration with the 6 paths of reincarnation as soon as possible. It needs to be born in 100 years at the latest. Shichen nodded, and then injected the 6 paths of reincarnation into Queen Mother Shi's body. Feel each other well and complete the fusion with it as soon as possible. I will accelerate time and provide other help for you. Shichen looked at the Queen Mother of the West who was merging with the 6 paths of reincarnation. A stream of magic power was injected into it, and then it turned into a huge ball of light, which completely wrapped the Queen Mother of the West in it. In this way, 100 years is almost up. By then, the 6 paths of reincarnation will be born, and the 2 paths of heaven and earth will be completely completed. The prehistoric world will also enter a new history. Shichen looked at the Queen Mother of the West who was practicing quietly, and set up a barrier here to protect her from being affected by the fusion of the 6 paths of reincarnation. After that, Shichen left Shikunlun directly and found a tunnel again. I have found the right person. The 6 paths of reincarnation will be born in 100 years, and you can come out by then. Shichen said while looking at the tunnel in front of him. Thank you, Daizun, but I don't know why you are helping me so much. The tunnel nodded after hearing this, and then said with some doubts. I just want to complete a new idea after the 6 reincarnations are born. This method is beneficial to the prehistoric beings and will make my future life less boring. Shichen explained casually. This is not something that needs to be concealed. In this case, I wish that Daizun's idea can be realized. Daideo didn't quite understand, but just agreed with Shichen. Anyway, it was in the underworld and was in charge of the dead, so it shouldn't affect it. If Daizun wants to do it, then he should try his best to promote it. They just need to cooperate well. Otherwise, what if someone doesn't like it and directly overturns the table? But it was wrong. Who can tell what will happen in the future? Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 114, Meeting the 3 Ancestors of the Human Race. Dideo, After the six paths return to their positions, I need you to leave a holy seed for the human race. Shichen said to Dideo at this time. It's just a holy seed, it's up to Deo-san. Dideo heard this without hesitation and agreed directly. Although he didn't know why this person wanted to seek a holy seed for the human race, he was also clear that the human race would become the protagonist of heaven and earth in the future. As Dideo corresponding to the heavenly Deo, how could it not know the heavenly Deo's plan? Although it has not been born, it can't hide what happened in the prehistoric world. Even if Shichen didn't say anything, it would consider the holy seed of the human race for the sake of the human race becoming the protagonist of heaven and earth, not to mention that now there is Shichen's words. In this case, I will leave first. It won't be long before the six paths return to their positions, and you should also be born. Shichen nodded and left here. In a blink of an eye, Shichen came to the human race again, but he wanted to tell them about this matter so that the human race could prepare early. In the ancestral land of the human race, the three human ancestors are now golden immortals. Although they are nothing in the prehistoric world, they are undoubtedly the three strongest people in the human race. Seeing Shichen coming, the three ancestors of the human race hurried out to greet him. Although they have never seen Shichen, they have seen many great powers in the prehistoric world. They just think that a great power has come. Each one is not something that the human race can provoke, so the human race now lives cautiously. I don't know why the senior has come to our ancestral land of the human race. Please tell me. When the three ancestors of the human race saw Shichen, they felt powerless from the bottom of their hearts, letting them know that this was not something they could provoke. I am Shichen, you don't need to be polite, let's go in and talk. Shichen said, letting everyone go into the hall to talk. It turns out that it is the Taoist master, we humans are terrified. Although the three ancestors of the human race have never seen Shichen, they have heard of Shichen's great name. Now seeing this big guy come to the human race in person, they can't help but feel a little terrified. Although they certainly had not offended Shichen, they did not know why he came, and everyone had different thoughts. After the two parties sat down, Shichen did not say anything polite and directly told the three ancestors of the human race about his plan. You know that there are 6 saints in the heavenly way now, but soon, the underground way will be born, and there will be a new underground saint at that time. I have some cause and effect with the human race, so I came here today to give you a chance. Shichen said directly. You mean? The three ancestors of the human race were shocked when they heard this, and they had some guesses in their hearts, but they were not sure, because this matter was too incredible. I have asked the underground way for a saint, and this is the opportunity one give you humans. You can choose one person, and I will let him take the position of saint. Shishin's tone was very calm, but the hearts of the three people on the opposite side could not help but stop. This matter is too huge, and we can never bear such an opportunity. Yoshio, as the head of the three ancestors, immediately refused when he heard this. He didn't know what kind of cause and effect could make this big guy promise their human race a sainthood, but it was too big for him to even think about it. Although the other two ancestors were very excited, they were also thinking while they were excited. They did not refute Yoshio. After all, he was their big brother, and they were willing to listen to Yoshio's opinions on many things. You don't have to worry, this is what you deserve. Since I'm going to get the sainthood, you have no room to refuse, just be at ease. Shishin shook his head when he saw this, asking them not to refuse this. If they knew about Shishin's past, they would definitely not refuse, because just a sainthood was not enough. Shishin was originally from the human race in his previous life. Although he was not from the prehistoric human race, he was also from the human race, so he grafted this cause and effect here, because there was no place for him to repay the cause and effect. Then my human race will accept it shamelessly. The three people of Yoshio looked at each other after hearing this, and then had to agree. After all, this was a good thing for the human race, and they couldn't refuse. If a saint can really appear in the human race, who in the prehistoric world dares to bully the human race at will? Okay, I've got it. You can decide on the candidate for the saint position, but this requires at least a quasi-saint, and there is still a long time. When you choose the candidate, you can go to Penglay Fairy Island to find me, and I will teach him personally. Shichen said, and he was about to get up and leave. Let's send off the Taoist master. Seeing this, the third ancestor hurriedly stood up and saluted respectfully to Shichen. The human race will not be bullied by other races forever. One day, it will stand up. I hope that your descendants will not forget this history by then. Although it is difficult now, it can better reflect the unyielding spirit of your human race. This is the most important quality of your human race. Shichen's figure disappeared, but his voice lingered in the ears of the third ancestor for a long time. The Dao Master is right. Our human race will definitely stand at the top of all races in the future, but we must never forget this difficult and unyielding period. I hope this can be engraved in the ancestral precepts of our human race. Yoshio looked at the place where Shichen disappeared, recalled Shishin's words, and then said to the two ancestors beside him. Yes, this should be the ancestral precepts that our human race should never forget. No matter what happens in the future, our human race should always maintain an unyielding spirit. Zi nodded when he heard this. Brother, how should we choose our people? Should this matter be passed on? Swiren suddenly thought of the position of the saint at this time. This matter was too important, and the three of them had to study it carefully. No, this matter should not be publicized. Although this is a gift from the deist master to our human race, the great powers of the prehistoric world dare not offend the deist master, but our human race will definitely receive more attention, which will do us harm and no good. Yoshio immediately denied this decision. Swiren and Zi thought about it and understood Yoshio's idea. This matter is indeed not suitable for publicity. In this way, you immediately order all members of our human race to migrate back to their ancestral land. At that time, we can publicly elect suitable people. The three of us are old and should leave hope to future generations. Yoshio looked at the sunset in the sky, as if thinking of the future of the three of them. They are like the sun that is about to set, but the sun will rise again tomorrow. This is the younger generation of the human race. Well, now the demons have slaughtered our human race at all costs in order to rule the prehistoric world, and they don't care that our human race was created by manhwa. This is a good opportunity for us to return to our ancestral land as soon as possible. Swiren nodded when he heard this. This is also a legitimate reason, and he will not be suspected by the people in the prehistoric world. After all, the human race is already very miserable now, being slaughtered by the demons all day long. After so many years of development, the human race has become a large tribe in the prehistoric world in terms of numbers. After all, they give birth very quickly, and each woman can give birth to a newborn in less than a year. Although there are many people, their strength is still at the bottom of the prehistoric world, which is the best blood food for the demons. Now, some human beings have returned to their ancestral land one after another, but they will still be hunted down by the demons all the way, making them wish to spit on their flesh. Although the ancestral land of the human race will not be so safe, this is the place where manhwa created humans after all, and the demons dare not be presumptuous here, so all the human beings want to return to their ancestral land.